Do you find yourself feeling a bit meh, so to say, for want of a better word? Is that going on with you right now? Hmm. Maybe this is the video for you to watch and see. Maybe we can change that for you. No promises, but we can but try. Start off, as always, those who come to my videos know I always start off with a haiku, which is a tiny little poem, so don't run away. Honestly, it won't take much of your time, but let's go as follows. The wick of life burns, whilst our light shows the way where we ought to tread. So, and some of you coming to the first time, think, what's he doing, bringing poetry into it? We're going to go and elaborate on that and kind of like then bring it all into reason why we can try to change things for ourselves. We want to change things for ourselves. We don't want to stay in those low vibrations, do we? We don't want to feel meh. So let's go see what we can do. So the thing I'm going to start off with, the wick of life burns. So always remember that when we're kind of like going through our everyday lives, when we're moving about, doing what we do, we're kind of responsible for what we do during that day, how we kind of conduct ourselves, what we want to do, where we're going to take ourselves. What does the day unfold, or what does the day entail for us? What's going to unfold as we go into that day? If we go and realize that our light is burning, we are kind of like in charge, we can make things happen. You put a match to something, it ignites, doesn't it? It makes things happen. And I'm going to say to you, you can all make things happen. If you just put in that little bit of effort, that little bit of sort of like recognition of realizing, to, when you're feeling meh, you know who's responsible for that? It's kind of you. It really is. We are responsible for feeling into those kind of feelings. So it comes to us to change it. Um, how do we change it? The first thing is to recognize that you're in that situation and recognize also that you are the one who's going to change that situation. Forgive me if I repeat myself, but it needs to be said. So change it. Let's imagine, for example, let's dream a scenario, and it's probably quite a common one, and we've certainly all been there. You're in a dead-end job. There's nowhere for you to go. You get your paycheck, sure, but the job, there's no job satisfaction. You're just there going through the motions, doing what you need to do. Everybody don't really talk to each other that much because they're in the same boat as you. It's just a a place that really zaps your will, and you're like trudging each day, like head down, boom, boom, boom. Get home feeling absolutely knackered, absolutely exhausted, and rinse, repeat, do it all again. I know I may well have gone through these previous videos, but you're fine. There's often a common theme. There's a reason why these things keep coming up, and that's because we're stuck in that cycle. So when you're in that situation, now you got a choice. You can carry on feeling there, keep on feeling in that zone, and woe is you that the whole world's against you and the job's crap, blah 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 blah. You can go in that situation, and we don't judge. That's fine. That is our lot sometimes. These are the things we got to do. We got to pay the bills. So we kind of go there. Or you can decide, you're thinking, there's more to life than this. There's more to life than just going through those motions, and then start to engage a little bit with your creative side. Kind of start thinking like, okay, I want to change things here. What can you do? And it doesn't matter how young or old you are, you can always do something. Um, if you're sort of like in your 20s or something, and it was a long time ago for me, but let's imagine if you was, you might think to yourself, well, maybe I could find time to study, find time to, learn a new skill, maybe sort of like get a diploma or business diploma or whatever you're drawn to. It doesn't have to be business, it could be whatever you like. And it gives you that qualification eventually. When you get that qualification, you can say, right, um, you could go to the place you're working, perhaps, still, if you're still there, and say, time for me to move to something better, or you move on. But the thing is, you've taken action. You've taken the action to change it. And this comes to us. We got to kind of like move our energy and sort of like accept that we don't have to accept. So there's a little bit of a paradigm, isn't there? You know, sort of like, oh, well, I can't change that. These are paradox, actually. Come on, Gary, get it right. And you can tell I do these live, you know, and there's a reason for that. I don't kind of like spend hours in editing because it's like I've invited you into my house, into my room. If you're having a conversation with someone, you don't say, stop a minute whilst I just delete that part and edit. No, you just say it as it is. That's what I'm doing. I'm having a chat with you, sharing my mind. So when I get my tongue twisted sometimes, allow it, just like you would in normal life. But anyway, as I was saying, when we kind of like get into those situations where we want to change it up, take the action. Um, let's imagine another scenario. Say you're in a situation where you're feeling a little bit sort of like run down, you're feeling a bit, health is not doing great, and you find yourself spending hours and hours at night playing video games, and generally just vegetating, just turning into um, the model of unfitness. Let's put it that way. There'll come a point where you think, like, I don't want to keep feeling like this. I want to change it. I want to change it. So there'll be that little inkling that you're kind of telling you this is not what you're here for. And then it becomes to us to take the action. The action is maybe, I'm not saying stop playing your video games, but kind of maybe limiting yourself. But also then telling yourself, I'm going to go out and go for a walk or whatever, do something that stirs the body, stirs the energy, gets you moving again, gets your energy pumping, gets your blood pumping, get yourself like in that kind of space where you're thinking, yeah, now I'm back on track. I'm me again. It's another avenue that you can kind of go down. But first, there's that recognition within you that something's got to change. Two, you got to do something about it. Don't be thinking, oh, I'm playing video games, but it's okay, I'll get healthy. We know that's not going to happen. You've got to take those actions, just like that job. You're in a job you don't like, change it. Do something about it. So then the next thing is like, whilst our light shows the way. So again, sometimes the light within you will show you a way, and often this can come in the most subtlest of ways. And unfortunately, we are kind of like this sometimes. We are blind to the opportunities. Let me think of a scenario here. Um, let's go back to that job again. You're in that job, and every Wednesday, you get like an email through about, let's call it indeed.co.uk. You see something that comes up, and you think, like, oh, I like that firm, but I'm not going to look this time. And a couple of weeks later, the same job comes up from a different place, and another job keeps coming, and it's almost like repeating the same scenario to you. It's like a woodpecker keeps going like this, and you keep doing it until one day you think like, oh, I keep seeing that. Maybe I should take some action on that. And they go, hallelujah, he's listened, or she's listened. You know, this is how these kind of like signs can come for you. But it almost comes to us to turn your energy to get into those states of mind. They do, well, how do I get into that frame of mind? And Gary, because like, you know, it's I'm stuck in the rut. It's like we have to motivate ourselves. And the one thing we can do is like, you know, when we get up in the morning, and I've been there, trust me, I've been there. I get up in the morning and I've been there, thinking, oh God, I've got to go to that bloody poxy place again. Um, that straight away is sending out those signals that, oh, well, I'll go for it. And they're kind of, that higher energies, for want of a better thing, oh, that's obviously what you want to do, then we'll leave you to it. But if you kind of get up in the morning and say to yourself, right, okay, what wonderful things are going to happen today? You know, try to get into that positive mindset. I know this is tough. Sometimes it's really difficult to get your energy up because it's all kind of like, especially if you're going into, call it the place of the dark ages and you're trying to shine your light, it will be difficult. But remember, when you're shining your light, it will make a difference. It will pick yourself up, maybe the old grumpy manager, or maybe a few people that you bump into. You try and shine your light. You're not always going to work. Sometimes you're going to get those negative vibes, and they can make you negative as well. I'm not going to say that I'm going to lie if I said to you, oh yeah, I was always bouncy and bubbly. No, I wasn't. There were days when I wasn't bouncy and bubbly, and I would be just like everybody else. But all the time I was thinking, no, going to make an effort at least to try and get myself up. Oh, when you do that, you're making that effort. You're getting onto that springboard of kind of like getting your light to shine. And sometimes when you think, well, I don't know what to do, there's simple things you can try. The simplest one of all, put your hands on your heart, drop into the heart space, and you can ask your questions. What should I be doing for my greatest good? What would serve me well? And you might get a complete different career change. You might be getting, oh, I never thought of that. And then again, you would learn those skill sets, wouldn't you? Or look for the opportunity. And once you start aligning your energy with what your true calling is, it's funny how things might start to fall into place for you because you're kind of saying, well, hey, I was put on this purpose to do this. Can you like give me a little help here? And suddenly you might start meeting the right kind of people who gently usher you to where you should be going. It can work like that as well. Another way is to get into that meditative state. Take the time, just get into meditation. It doesn't have to be complicated, it can be simple. I've probably said this before, but again, get into that space where you just close your eyes, relax, and just allow yourself to become in the present moment. And it's when everything comes calm, start getting clarity, you start getting understanding, you can start recognizing almost the energy of a thing that you don't like. You think, oh, why am I putting up with this? It doesn't belong here. Go away. Move it out of yourself. You are masters of your own energy, each and every one of us. So the person who's going to change it ultimately is ourselves. But of course, it's nice to get a little bit of help on the way. So don't be shy to ask for a bit of help from whatever comes to light, whether that's your friends, higher guidance, for want of a better word, or just giving yourself a kick up the bum. Sometimes we've got to do those things. Accept it, look for those signs, and another signs that when new beginnings come up, you might start seeing things like this: 111, 222, 333, them sort of things as well. It's like, and if it keeps repeating, it's not a coincidence. So it is definitely signs coming through for you. Or you could go somewhere and you suddenly feel a nice warm feeling about something. You feel, oh, I'll get that. Conversely, if you get the, oh, I don't like this, I don't like being around this person or that, that's another sign. A sign for you to take action. And this is a lot of what we do. We got to take action. Okay, and the last line, where we ought to tread. And again, where we ought to tread, again, we're coming into alignment, aren't we? And it comes down to the fact of asking yourself, looking in yourself, what are you doing with your life? What are you going to do? Where are you going to go? Now, this doesn't mean that you have to go on some crazy adventure all across the world. It doesn't mean that you must suddenly start up a whole new career and burn yourself out. Remember, you got your life candle burning away quite nicely there. But each and every one of us is different. Each and every one of us is going to do something different. And I'm not going to say to someone who's sitting indoors all day doing diddly squat and in their own space that that's wrong. That may be perfectly right for them, because that's the life they've chosen. And we can get so judgy, can't we, when we say, oh, you should be doing this and that. If that person feels that's the right thing for them to do and they're not doing no harm to anybody else, let them be. By the same tenet, there could be someone who does want to see the world. They want to go and see life as an adventure, live life to the max. Go for it. Go for those very things that call to you. It's your calling. But what we've all got to do is when that calling comes, listen to it. It's listen to a message because that will take you where we ought to be on our life path, on our life journey, for want of a better word. And that is where we ought to tread. We follow the lights as much as we can. And remember, when a light's shining, we shine it bright enough. We go into the dark will abate. It will move backwards as you move forward. There are times when you're going to get those feelings of not much happening. It's happened to me a little bit this year, but then we got to stay up high. Got to stay motivated. Got to keep believing in yourself. And there's a channel that I got some advice from videos and stuff. He keeps saying, keep showing up, be consistent. It is so true. You know, we got to keep being consistent. And you'll find that as I build on these series, there will be a common thread. And you call it the spark of life, call it what you will, call it your purpose, whatever. But the purpose is about you being you. If there's anything I can say today, if you take anything from this, be you, be yourself, and enjoy the light in you. Enjoy your life. Enjoy the people you decide to bring forward into your life, and even those that you push away. They're all part of your tapestry of experience. You look at this thing above me here, you know, it's like every one of those little points has a purpose. It all joins, doesn't it? And that goes for us. Every emotion, every feeling, every kind of like structure within you and around you is joined, it's linked. Everything you see, everything, even just looking at just a little bit of paper, if I look at that, I'm linking into that bit of paper. It's kind of like giving me little messages what I'm talking about today. So if you see me like sneaking little look like that, that's what's going on. I'm not going to lie, I need a little bit of help from time to time. So I use my little prompts. Why not? Um, and that's what it goes for you as well. We need that little bit of assistance at times in our life. Go and ask, and the universe will deliver if you put it and phrase it just so. Okay, and my dear friends, that is everything for another day. I'd like to thank you from the bottom of my heart for taking the time to be here and listen to my supposed words of wisdom from the old spiritual cockney here. And that's a bit of fun. If you got this far, and I'm going to see if you're still here, and if you are, I applaud you like this because you deserve it, because I know a lot of people are long gone. And I'm going to ask you to write in the comments fire. Put fire in the comments then I know you're activating your life right now and you're taking action. And that, my friends, is sweet as a nut. Bye bye for now. Take care. See you at the next one.